Okay, minions. In this next part of Standard 5.8, we're looking specifically at presidential primaries. So, political parties generally hold a national convention at which a group of delegates, representatives from each state, collectively decide upon which candidate they will run for the presidency. So, it's not as simple as just who achieves the most votes across the nation becoming the presidential nominee for either party. Instead, it's kind of similarly reflected to the Electoral College. Back in the day, the political parties would meet in these giant conventions, and delegates specifically selected from each state would meet, and they were the ones to select the candidates. But today, now it's kind of a combination of the popular vote and these delegates. So here's how it goes. Delegates are chosen at the state level, and these delegates are called pledged delegates. They must vote the way their state voted, and they are determined through either a proportional system or a winner-take-all system from those open and closed primaries or caucuses. So if the state of California says, hey, we like Bernie or we like Biden, the delegates from that state are then going to vote for that candidate unless it's a proportional system. And then, like if Biden wins 60% and Bernie wins 40, then it would have been a 60-40 split of those delegate votes in the convention. Besides pledged delegates, both parties also have what they call unpledged delegates. And these unpledged delegates can vote however they wish. And they're usually chosen as part of the party elite. Republicans have 3 unpledged delegates per state, and Democrats have hundreds of unpledged delegates, and they call them superdelegates. So if you look at the little cartoon here, right, you have your elections, your caucuses, they decide the pledged delegates from each state. They will then cast their votes at the National Convention for the candidate of the choosing, and then the unpledged delegates or superdelegates will additionally cast votes. And most of the time, they're going to vote with however the people are voting. Really, those unpledged delegates are in case there is kind of a tiebreaker needed, they can sway the vote from there. And that person then becomes the nominee for the party. Front loading is referring to the process of holding a state's primary or caucus early in the election cycle beginning in February. Right? So what we have found is that a primary or caucus that is held early in the cycle is going to gain more attention from both candidates and the media, and they can have a major impact on who is ultimately going to win the party's nomination. So a lot of states want to try to move up into the calendar. To try to prevent everyone from doing this, both parties have started to institute policies and regulations to prevent everybody from just leapfrogging one another. Iowa always holds the first caucus, and New Hampshire always holds the first primary, which is interesting because these are 2 small states who actually have a very large impact on who the next president will end up being. Super Tuesday is an event in which the greatest number of U.S. states will hold their primary elections and caucuses. Approximately 1/3 of all the delegates to the presidential nominating conventions can be won on Super Tuesday, and more than any other day. So you kind of see this alliance of states kind of saying, we're going to hold ours all on this one day, and maybe it will draw more attention to us from the candidates and make us more important. Super Tuesday. So then we get to the national conventions. Following the primary contest for president, each party then holds their convention to officially nominate their candidate. But they also do several other things besides saying, hey, this is the one. They will also adopt the official party platform, as we have mentioned before. They officially nominate the vice president as well as the actual candidate for president. And they now have to also do something that can be difficult. They have to unify the party because at this point they've been tearing each other apart, right? Bernie and Biden were at each other's throats, and now Biden has defeated Bernie. He has to try to win over Bernie's voters. They have to unify together if they have a chance to defeat the Republican candidate, President Trump. They will also promote the party message and candidate to the public. So it can also be a jumping off point in which to launch the general election campaign. All right, guys, that's it for this video.